Hello, good day. My name is Fauzia Muhammad. I am going to start the web development classes where we have here in my presentation Queens in Tech Web Development HTML courses. We are going to start with HTML. So my next slide here is the HTML introduction. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is a markup language for describing web documents, which is the web pages. Markup languages are sets for markup tags, which describe the HTML documents, and HTML tags are keyword tag names surrounded by angle brackets. Here is an example of HTML tag. Here is the contents in between the opening and closing tag. So HTML tags normally comes in pairs like P and P with forward slash. The first tag in a pair is the start tag. The second tag is the end tag. So the end tag is written like the start tag but with a slash before the tag name. We have the HTML basics. Here is the declaration of my HTML documents. Here which we have the doc type HTML, we have the HTML tag, we have the head tag, we have the title opening tag and the content in between and the closing tag. Then we have the closing tag of the head. Here we have the opening tag of the body, we have our h1, my first heading with the closing tag, p, my first paragraph with the closing tag, then the closing tag of body and the closing tag of HTML. If you notice something, this HTML is opening here and closing at the last, which means it contains every other tag. We have the head tag and it is closing after the title, which is it is containing the title tag. We have the body tag and it is ending after the h1 and p, which means it is the body. This body is any other tag that is inside the body is a tag that will display on the browser. This title tag will not display on the screen of the browser, rather at the tab of the browser. So let's look at the explanation. We have the doc type declaration defines the document type of HTML, which means we are telling the browser that this is a document type of HTML. It is not Word, it is not Excel or PowerPoint. So we have the text between HTML and HTML opening tag and HTML closing tag describes the HTML document. It describes the document. Then the text between head provide information about the document. I told you it will not show in the screen of the browser, rather at the tab. So we are going to see it in few minutes. So the text between title and title closing tag provide the title for the document. The text between the body describes the visible page content. As I said earlier, only the contents in the body are the contents that will show on the screen of the page of the browser. So we have the text between h1 opening tag and h1 closing tag describes the heading. So it gives heading to our HTML document, and the text between the p opening and closing tag describes the paragraph. So that is the explanation we have for HTML basics. So here we have HTML structure, whereby we are having our HTML which is containing every other tag and it is closing here. So we have our head, it is containing only the title, it is closing after the title, and the title is containing only one content, it is closing in one line. So we have the body after the head, which is containing something like div, we have h1 p. So did you see that after body is containing the rest of the tags here, div is also containing the h1 and p. So we are going to get to that in the practical aspect. So we have HTML editors. What is HTML editor? HTML editors are text editing application we use to edit our HTML documents. We have the Notepad, we have the Sublime Text, we have the Visual Studio Code, and others. So we have HTML elements. HTML elements consist of opening and closing tags with content in between them. E.g., we have the H1, this is the heading, and here is the opening tag, here is the content, and here is the closing tag. So this is an element. We also have nested elements, which are elements that have or contain other elements inside them. E.g., we have the head, and it is containing title, closing after title. So we have empty elements. These are elements that don't have closing tag. They are self-closing tags, e.g. the BR, and it is called the break tag. So we have HTML attributes. HTML attributes provide additional information about an element. They are specified in the opening tag and are always in pairs. E.g., we have the tag name. Here we have the name and value. So this is our attributes here. It comes in pairs. We have the name, we have the value inside our opening tag before our content, and then the closing tag. So name and value. Types of attributes. We have the lang attribute. It is declared in the HTML tag used for declaring language as for accessibility apps, e.g. screen readers. So it helps the accessibility apps for declaring languages. We have the title attribute. It is used to tell what the element is all about in a tooltip format. So we have the href attribute. It is used to specify the link address of an element. We have the size attribute, which is the width and height. It is used to specify width and height of an image. We have the source attribute, which is used to collect an address of an image. We have the alt attribute, which is used to specify an alternative text for an image. Here we have our HTML headings. HTML headings are very important in documents. The HTML headings are used for our HTML document in giving it a heading. Here are the HTML headings we have. We have the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. So note, H1 defines the most important heading, while H6 defines the least important heading. So let's move to practical. And here here I'm going to use my Visual Studio Code for practical. So first of all, I'm going to create a folder. Called web dev. So I can come here. This is my VS Code application, my text editor. So this is not the folder I'm going to work on. So I can just come here, click on new window, and new window will appear. So I'm having two windows of the application now. So I want to open my folder here. So I'm going to click on new folder this time around. Here. So I opened it on my desktop, and here it is. So I'm going to select folder. So here I have opened my folder here. the next thing I am going to do is to open a new file. Note, as a beginner, if you are going to open a new file, the file must be called index. Index. So I am going to attach the file extension to it now, which is HTML. We are using HTML documents for now, so I'm going to use index.html. Did you see that? Without .html it was like this, but when I attach my file extension to it, it became something like this, which is something like a tag without content inside, without tag name inside. So I'm going to click on my enter button and I have my tag here. So first, let's move to our HTML declaration, where we have the doc type HTML, the HTML, so on and so forth. So I'm going to open my doc type. Here my HTML. Did you see that VS Code make our work more easier? It is just bringing the tag names for me to just click on any one I want to use. I'm going to open my head now. Head tag. Inside the head we have the title. Let's give our title my first title. So after that, let's move to body after our head, because here our head here is only containing the title. So let's move to body. We have our body tag, body opening tag, and the closing under. So inside our body we have our H1, our heading for our document. So we have our H1. This is my first heading. Under it we have our P, which is this is my first paragraph. So let me save it. Please, to save we are going to use Ctrl S to save it. So let me go and look for my folder here inside the desktop. Here is my folder, and we have our index here, the index we just opened in our VS Code. So let me open it. So this is what we are having. We are having only, this is my first heading, this is my first paragraph. So our title inside our head, here it is my first title. So here is where you are going to find your title, and this is our H1, this is our paragraph. So let's go back to our code. After that, so let's try our HTML headings, where we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. So I'm going to use my H2 now. this is my second heading. H3, this is my third heading. H4, this is my fourth heading. H5, this is my fifth heading. H6, this is my sixth heading. So remember, we only have H1 to H6. So let's see our output. Let's go back to our browser and then refresh it here. So this is my H1, my first heading, second heading, third heading, fourth heading, fifth heading, sixth heading. Did you see that when our number of heading increases, the content became smaller? Here my second heading is smaller than my first heading, my third heading is smaller than my second heading, same goes for the rest. And here is my paragraph, which is my first paragraph. Paragraph is only P. We don't have something like P1, P2. No, we don't have it. So paragraph is only P. So let's look at our HTML attributes, where we have our name and value. So here we have our lang attributes. It is declared in the HTML tag used for declaring languages for accessibility apps, which is our screen readers. So it is declared in our HTML here, HTML tag. So we have the lang attributes. Let's give it English US. So when the screen readers is helping us to read our screen, it will be using English US, US English, not British English. So next one, we have our title attribute. It is used to tell what the element is all about in a tooltip format. So let's use our title attribute now. Here in our H1, let's give it a title. Let me say title, or let's call another tag. Let's give it another P tag. So it is used to give additional information. What can we use now to make our title correspond? Okay, let me say WHO, World Health Organization. So without our title now, you won't know that this WHO means World Health Organization. So let me write the full meaning: World Health Organization. So let's check it out. You see, here we are having our World Health Organization in a tooltip format, in a box. When I just hover on it, it will tell me that this WHO means World Health Organization. So the next on our attribute is the href attribute, which is used to specify the link address of an element. So here, let's create a link. A link here is used using our A tag, our anchor tag. So if you notice, when I just click on A, it comes with the href automatically. This is the work of Visual Studio Code. So Notepad cannot do this. Notepad, you have to type everything. So our href now, let me give it we don't have any other link here, so I'm going to just give it hash, which means I'm not linking it to anything, but as time goes on we are going to create another page and then link this page to that one. So our href now is hash, which means I'm not linking anything to it. So let me give the contents as click me. So let's go and check it out on our browser. Here we have click me. So this is a link. It is not like any other tags here. This is a link. It comes with underline. So that is why it is used to specify a link address. So we have our size attribute, which is the width and height. It is used to specify the width and height of an image. So we don't have our image, on our page, but I am going to look for an image. So here is our web dev folder. Let me go to pictures and select one image. Okay, let me use this image. So let me copy the image and then paste it on my web dev folder. So here is my image. When I go to my Visual Code, I'll see it here. So I copied something to it through the folder and it is showing in my VS Code. Okay, so let me insert my image using the image tag. Here is another new tag we learned. We know about the a tag. Now we are going to use our image tag. So our image tag, this is our source attribute. This is another attribute here. The source attribute, it is used to collect the address of an image, while the alt attribute is used to specify an alternative text for an image. Okay, so let me use my source attribute now to collect the address of my image using my dot slash. You see, I am collecting the address. So I have collected from my web dev folder. So this dot means the folder and this is the file inside. So my alternative text now, I am going to give it, since my folder is a certificate, my image, since my image is a certificate, I am going to give it certificate here. So let's check it out on our browser. So here is the certificate. So it's too big, I want to reduce it. How can I reduce it? Using our size attribute. It is used to specify the width and height of an image. So I am going to give it my own width and height. So here, let me give it width 150 pixel or 150, height 152. So let's check it out and see. Did you see that it has reduced? But it's also too small. So let me change it to, let me make this 250 and make this 200. Okay, it's okay like this, or it's too small. Let's make it 350 and 300. So here is my certificates. My image is now in my folder. So thank you very much for listening to this first part of our HTML course. So we are going to meet in the next class. Thank you.